I've always wanted to find out why Rome is called the Eternal City, or a city of absolute beauty. Describing Rome's stunning beauty, some people see a landscape where ancient and modern blend into one. Others see a place full of romance. However, as an artist, I want to seek the answer through my own prism. The Piazza di Spagna, located in the center of Rome, has the most famous steps in the world. Back in the day, a movie called Roman Holiday brought the steps to worldwide fame.
Well, it's you.
Everyone who comes to Rome likes to visit this place and relive the romance of the film. This is where my journey of discovery began. I'm looking for a street called Via Condotti.
Excuse me, sir. I lose my way. I'm looking for Via Condotti. Could you tell me how can I get there?
Yes, of course. It's just
Okay,
here
thank you.
behind.
Thank you.
I'll show you the way.
Okay.
Via Condotti is such a unique road. Although it's only 200 to 300 meters long, its old buildings, fashionable crowds, and the very finest of luxury goods put it in the limelight. To me, it's Rome's most beautiful landmark. Admiring visitors find themselves walking into an art museum, with every window displaying the kind of designs that Italians are rightly proud of. These exquisite things allow me to see another side of Rome, where the beauty of the city comes from an Italian pursuit of fine living and artistic sensibility. Design is a calling card of the nation. Since ancient times, Italians have possessed a magical ability to employ art to improve the quality of life. This unique design acumen makes a pair of shoes, a watch, or a piece of clothing into a stylish and elegant work of art. Almost all of the world's top luxury brands today were created by Italians. In almost every aspect of life, we see inspired creativity led by Italian fashion. To me, design is a kind of soft power that this stunning city possesses. Coming to the former palace at the foot of Li Mountain is like traveling to the Tang Dynasty 1,000 years ago. And the love story that happened here is performed daily. During the Tang Dynasty, Chang'an was known as the capital of Oriental elegance. The beautiful, dreamlike performances on stage recreate the magic and romance of that era. The Tang Dynasty has long since gone, and I'm not sure whether this magnificence that took place 1,000 years ago actually existed or is just a figment of our imagination. I found the answer in this 1,000-year-old tomb of a Tang princess.
我现在是在唐代的永泰公主墓的墓穴里，透过这些栩栩如生的壁画，我们可以感受到当时大唐的宫廷生活以及当时的风尚。
Although the murals have long become mottled, they allow me to see something from history. The graceful dresses, beautiful makeup, exotic headdresses, and even the looks of the ladies in ethnic costumes and even in men's clothing reveal the aesthetic interests of Tang people in that open-minded era. This was a style of Oriental fashion that was so influential 1,000 years ago. This kind of timeless elegance expresses the splendor of Chinese civilization, not only copied by Japan and many countries in Southeast Asia, but also spread to the rest of the world via the Silk Road, captivating the ancient Romans and the Western world. The splendid design of Chinese handicrafts is seen as a model by the rest of the world. One is a trend-setting country in modern design, the other is an ancient and elegant city renowned for its 1,000 years of history. Chang'an and Rome have lent the world endless inspiration from different eras through the millennia. What kind of forces inspired the extraordinary creativity that made human civilization so wonderful? Rome is known as the fashion capital of the world. The streets here are like showrooms with a huge diversity of style. It leads some to ask, what kind of clothing can become a classic in an ever-shifting fashion world? I'm here today in search of one of the classic costumes of the century.
Oh,
Hello. Nice to meet you. Morning.
Vieni a vedere qua I nostri tesori.
哦，这就是他的工作室哦。这件衣
This
服
is
在
the
中国
dress
对也是很有
that
名的。
dresses
哦，
Mrs. Audrey Hepburn. Look, she dresses this beautiful in the movie War and Peace, 1957.
在中国这部电影很有名，但是可能很多人不知道它是怎么样设计的哦。
War and Peace, an epic masterpiece starring Audrey Hepburn, took place in the Russian court in the early 19th century. Although Hepburn was stunning and elegant, her delicate figure was unsuitable for the graceful but rather bulky palace costumes of the era. So, this company tailor-made a costume just for her. Surprisingly, the novel design was a complete inversion of the aesthetics of the era. By using lightweight gauze instead of heavy traditional fabrics, it provided a refreshing change from the less petite costumes of the time. In the end, the film was nominated for an Oscar at the 29th Academy Awards for Best Costume Design for its unusual and unique design. In particular, Hepburn's stunning appearance at the court ball left a deep impression, and this dress has become one of this century's classics. Now, 70 years later, this dress still inspires. The secret to its timelessness lies in its prescient design concept, elegant, simple, and unique. The figure-hugging design is perfect for displaying a lady's form, yet it also embodies mainstream concepts for modern fashion design.
È avere personalità e saper scegliere un abito che sia adatto al proprio fisico e alla propria personalità.
Personalization and handmade craftsmanship are major features of Italian high fashion design today. This one-to-one personal service not only ensures the quality of the clothes, but also fully reflects the designer's inspiration. Behind each classic lies the power of design. Meanwhile, in Chang'an, thousands of miles away, China created its own classics a millennia ago. The Chinese costumes of the Tang Dynasty were among the most beautiful things in the East at that time, and remain striking even today. How exactly was this graceful and magnificent Oriental classic created? I found the answer in the Huaqing Pond at the former royal palace of the Tang Dynasty.
曾经代表着大唐时尚的服装服饰呢，很少有留存下来的。但是通过这些服装道具，依然能够感受到大唐服饰的那种华美。
This exquisiteness emerges firstly from its special fabric. Silk was a unique Chinese invention, and its soft and elegant texture and vivid brilliance were unparalleled at the time. Embroidery was a most beautiful feature of Tang Dynasty costumes. Women in the Tang Dynasty were expert at using delicate threads and exquisite patterns to embroider dragons and phoenixes, and the beauty of such ingenious costumes created the graceful and magnificent costumes of the Tang Dynasty. The style of clothing at the time reflected the aesthetic fashion of Tang Dynasty society and also perfectly embodied the beauty of Tang women's graceful and elegant forms, while at the same time it chimed with China's culture of subtlety and restraint. In my opinion, Chinese clothing was not only a classic through the centuries, but was also a cultural symbol of the great Tang dynasty, revealing confidence and nobility. Dressing up in costumes from previous millennia has become a new fashion for young people in today's Xi'an. It's a real surprise for me that they have an understanding of the culture of traditional clothing, passed down from one generation to the next. Whether it's Roman fashion or Chang'an's Chinese clothing, true classics stand the test of time. Whenever I quietly gaze at these women from 1,000 years ago, the sublime imagery of Tang poems comes to mind. Although the elegant dresses and pretty silk have faded over the years, they still influence fashion all over the world. This is a delightful fashion show, elegant, gorgeous, and full of Oriental charm. What's really special is how it integrates Chinese elements. The designers of this clothing, an Italian mother and daughter, were inspired by the Tang costumes of China.
A noi siamo sempre state affascinate dal lato e preso ispirazione da questo magnifico paese con una cultura
di tutti i periodi cinesi, ma soprattutto del periodo Tang, per la raffinatezza e per la fantasia straordinaria dei colori che sono.
75-year-old Raffaella is from the third generation of a family of fashion designers. Over the past 100 years, they have transformed a tailor's shop into a tailor-made brand treasured by Italian people. Their unique style combines Western art and Chinese elements.
E c'è sempre un tocco di orientale e di ispirazione sia nel curiellino, nel little black dress, che nell'alta moda, perché è una cultura talmente ampia che non può essere richiamata, non può essere mai dimenticata.
The Italian mother and daughter have a simple, direct, and passionate understanding of Chinese elements, boldly extracting traditional Chinese clothing style, patterns, and other features. This fashion has an Oriental charm, but it never loses sight of the unique temperament and style of the Italian court. The merging of the two makes me see the connection between Chang'an and Rome. Chinese elements are a hot topic in today's fashion design world. But interestingly, another unique fashion show allowed me to see a different interpretation of them. This avant-garde, bold, self-expressive, and individualistic fashion show is the work of a Chinese designer named Miao Ran. Although he is from China, why is it so hard to see Chinese symbols in his work? With this question in mind, I came to Miao Ran's studio in Milan, Italy. Miao Ran is a well-known cutting-edge Chinese designer who is active in the contemporary Italian fashion world. He has been hired by luxury brands as a design consultant and is the Chinese disciple of Giorgio Armani. Miao Ran's success rests on his unique design philosophy. His style is free and unrestrained. His inspiration came from China, but he doesn't like to use Chinese elements directly in his designs.
其实我们的汉唐时期，我们是一种开放的、非常洒脱的生活方式以及格局。我觉得是我们中国人的情怀以及格局会影响到世界，而不是完全视觉上看到的很简单的一些元素的拼贴。
In Miao Ran's opinion, the inheritance of tradition is not a simple cut and paste of symbols, but a kind of cultural enhancement and sublimation, converting traditional elements into a modern language. Miao Ran's designs make extensive use of natural colors such as blue, grey, green, red, white and black, and more natural fabrics such as cotton, linen and silk. By using handcrafted elements such as embroidery and tassels, easy and elegant oriental charm finds its way into all details of the design.
我们从描染的设计当中呢，其实能够看出很多东方的元素，所以很多的西方的评论家也好，或者设计师同行也好，也觉得在他的作品当中能看到很多的东方智慧在里边。
I agree with Vic's magazine that Miao Ran's designs combine Chinese and Western characteristics in a harmonious, creative, and unique fashion. His designs are not just a trend, but a philosophy. Since ancient times, people have been putting makeup on their faces. And the love of beauty has encouraged women through the ages to make their faces beautiful. I discovered that in the history of Chang'an and Rome, though both were trying to express beauty, makeup in both East and West was so different. Why is that? In today's Rome, there are a plethora of makeup salons, large and small, where many women come to be elaborately made up before social events. In order to discover the secrets of Italian makeup, I went to the famous Makeup Studio 13 in Rome.
Excuse me, could you show me about your makeup? Yes.
At present, about 70% of the world's makeup products come from Italy, with makeup being a special language that Italians want to express in art and fashion. Makeup beauticians are like artists, revealing their understanding of beauty on the face of a girl.
在他们的化妆台上呢，是有非常多的彩妆的颜色，这就像画家的调色板一样，化妆师通过这种颜色来进行造型。
I will choose the color about the person, about the skin color. Depends about the makeup.
Yes.
Influenced by the aesthetics of ancient Greek painting and the plastic arts, the art of Italian makeup originated in the ancient Roman period. It was always focused on a healthy complexion and facial contours. To enhance three-dimensional beauty, they invented rich color powder, blush, eyeshadow, and so forth. Different colors were used to bring light and dark effects to different parts of the face, in the same way as a painter paints, to reveal shadows and highlights. Italians put a lot of effort into the shape of their eyes. To make their eyes bigger and livelier, they use a variety of eyeshadow in different layers to fashion a three-dimensional effect. They also use eyeliner and mascara to enhance the contours of the eyes, making them deeper and more perfect.
意大利人的对于化妆的这种理解呢，实际上和古罗马时期呢是一直在进行着一种美学传承。他们呢更多的是强调立体的造型的关系，来强调他们的一种西方的美学。
Nowadays, Italians have conquered the world with this pursuit of natural, three-dimensional beauty. More than 1,000 years ago in Chang'an, the Chinese also created their own unique color makeup. So, what was Chinese makeup like a millennia ago? These relics displayed in the Xi'an Museum reveal women's makeup during the Tang Dynasty. From today's point of view, this kind of makeup is puzzling. Why did they do it this way? In Xi'an today, makeup studios are very fashionable, and many of their designs are inspired by the makeup of the Tang Dynasty.
唐代的复原妆，它不是把这个粉要铺得很厚，过去好像那个腮红
都比较
画得非常的重啊。
对，那个叫九韵妆。
The so-called drunken flush, a kind of makeup with red cheeks as if having drunk alcohol, is said to have been influenced by a minority tribe. The Tang dynasty advocated splendor, so red makeup with a white foundation and rouge on the face was the most popular fashion of the time. The most unbelievable thing is that there were dozens of styles of eyebrow painting for women in the Tang dynasty. During the Tang, it was required learning for women to paint eyebrows, and if they could do it well, they would win the applause of the literati. To express different moods and to compete with each other, they changed the shape of their eyebrows every day. This exaggerated style of eyebrow painting still influences Japan today. Tang dynasty women's makeup was a spectacle, with flower patterns, lipstick, dimples, and other decoration. Unlike Westerners in their pursuit of three-dimensional form, the Tang people focused on visual impact of the surface and used bright colors to depict an exquisite and gorgeous world, which not only increased the femininity of women, but also conveyed the cultural language of the flourishing Tang dynasty. Unprecedented status and a better life inspired Tang women to explore their aesthetic potential, expressing their creativity on their faces, using novel makeup to boldly elevate their beauty with confidence. The unique charm of Tang women a millennium ago still induces a form of reverie today. As an art and design practitioner, I always like to explore artworks that are filled with inspiration. In today's Italy, art and design have permeated every aspect of society and have changed the way people think about life. Today, I have come to another place of creativity, to find out what kind of inspirational design Italians acquire for their dining tables.
我们现在所来到的呢，就是世界设计梦工厂。那么在这里呢，我们可以看到到处都是一些设计的经典。
These novel-looking utensils are in fact the works of famous design masters.
那么意大利人最大的特点就是他把设计放在了最重要的位置。这是世界上著名的后现代设计师迈克尔·格雷夫斯设计的一款水壶，可以说颠覆了过去大家对于传统水壶的一种观念。那么我们现在看到的就是由意大利设计师乔凡诺尼设计的餐桌上的艺术品，一个小小的容器就能被设计得非常富有童趣。这个开瓶器是著名的设计师门迪尼设计的。那么它把实用性和艺术性很好的结合在了一起，把趣味性引入到了我们生活当中。
The concept of Italian tableware design is to integrate the taste of art into the details of life. This design concept of combining pragmatism and art is rooted in the country's long cultural traditions. As early as the ancient Roman period, Italians were passionate about tableware design, and they used art to make beautiful tableware to display wealth and taste. In the 21st century, this ancient tradition still influences Italian designers. In their eyes, a good product must be a work of art first and foremost. They use art to lead design, and they use beauty to transform the table into a refreshing modern art exhibition.
Una caratteristica che ha sempre distinto il nostro approccio industriale è quello di produrre oggetti d'uso quotidiano, ma con un processo creativo molto vicino a quello dell'arte.
If it's said that art guides Italian tableware design, what influenced Chinese tableware design through the millennia? In 1970, a Tang Dynasty royal cellar was discovered in Hejia village in the southern suburbs of Xi'an. Today, the relics in the cellar have become treasures of the Shanxi History Museum, unveiling the mystery of royal court life in the Tang Dynasty. Many of the precious artifacts in this collection are exquisite tableware. The elegant forms, embellishments, and exquisite workmanship represent the highest attainment of Chinese tableware at the time. People may ask why the tableware of the Tang Dynasty court was designed in such a way. In the Tang court, banqueting was a kind of ceremonial activity full of ritual which followed a strict system, with tableware a symbol of rank. Gold and silverware were designed for royalty and aristocrats to use, and their shape, patterns and design would not only reflect exquisite craftsmanship and be magnificent, but also express auspiciousness and well-being. This cultural concept influenced the design of tableware for future generations. This Mandarin duck gold bowl is one of the most beautiful and magnificent of all Tang Dynasty gold and silver vessels. It is both solemn and elegant, and within each lotus petal is a rare bird or exotic animal or plant, symbolizing harmony and perfection. In the Tang Dynasty, the porcelain used by the royal family was also highly exquisite. The secret color porcelain unearthed at the Farman Temple is the only Tang royal porcelain discovered to date. It is said that the secret method for making this porcelain has long been lost. The styling of these secret color porcelain sets is elegant and simple, with graceful and smooth lines and rhythm. In particular, these two bowls are decorated with gilt flower clusters and birds flying with each other, expressing vivid and ingenious patterns. The Tang Dynasty was an open and tolerant era, and all kinds of glazed tableware from Persia and the Mediterranean coast were favored by the court. This crystal-clear, exotic-colored glassware reflects a unique allegory of the blending of civilizations. Although that era is long gone, in my eyes, these ancient tablewares are not only the epitome of the Tang Dynasty, but also a conveyor of Chinese cultural heritage. I believe that no matter how times change, the cultural symbols of the Chinese people will be a constant theme of Chinese design.